Before you even consider dropping tens of thousands of dollars for a SUV, you need to watch this video, because we found 7 used SUVs that are not only super reliable, but also super cheap, and that is good news for your wallet. These hidden gems cost $1,000 less, last just as long, and come loaded with features that'll make your neighbor's Audi look like a bad decision. I'm talking about vehicles that mechanics actually recommend that fly under the radar, while everyone else fights over the same boring choices. And here's the kicker. Some of these have been beating Toyota and Honda in reliability surveys, but nobody talks about them. Stick around because number 3 will genuinely shock you, and your bank account will thank me later. Number 7. Lincoln MKX. This is the quiet luxury SUV buyers keep skipping, and that is exactly why the MKX feels like a gold mine. The Lincoln badge lost heat. Buyers ran toward hotter names, and this thing got treated like old news, even though the 2013 through 2015 years still make real sense. The 2015 gives you a 3.7-liter V6, a 6-speed automatic, 305 horsepower, and up to 3,500 pounds of towing. Fuel economy on the all-wheel drive version lands around 17 city and 23 highway, which is fair for a mid-size luxury crossover with this kind of comfort. Used prices usually sit around $9,000 to $11,000, while the original starting sticker was about $40,850. That gap is the whole story. The market keeps pricing this like a tired badge, not like a smooth, leather-lined, roomy daily driver. Compare it to the same money Lexus RX or Acura RDX listings, and you will usually see buyers paying for badge confidence, not a dramatically better ownership story. In the garage, this is the SUV for the guy who wants a plush seat, a silent highway ride, and a truck that feels expensive without the luxury payment. It is better for comfort and value than people think. But it is not the pick if you want the cleanest resale or zero infotainment quirks. Make sure My Lincoln Touch behaves, because glitchy screens get annoying. Check brake, feel for pulsation or soft travel, because neglected brakes become costly. Look for oil seepage or PTU area leaks underneath, because small drips turn into damage later. Then drive it fully warm, and make sure the 3.7 feels smooth, clean, and quiet. If this old-school luxury bargain surprised you, the next one is the opposite. A mainstream badge people still judge with old opinions, even though the numbers say they should stop. Join the ride and subscribe to our channel. Number 6. Kia Sportage. This is the SUV that still gets judged, like it is 2008. And that ancient thinking is exactly why the Sportage stays cheaper than it should. The smart used year window here is 2023 through 2025, because the 2023 gives you a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, an 8-speed automatic, and about 28 miles per gallon combined. Used 2023 examples now run from the mid-teens into the low 20s, while a new 2025 Sportage starts around $28,785. That is a big value swing for something this fresh. In the garage, this is the SUV for the buyer who wants modern features, a roomy cabin, and a payment that does not feel painful. Compare it to CR-V and RAV4 money, and the discount becomes obvious, because people are still reacting to an older Kia reputation instead of the current product. The value comes from badge stigma, not from some giant drivetrain flaw. That warranty shadow still helps used buyers feel safer, even after the first owner is gone today. It is better on equipment and pricing than many obvious picks, but it is not better if your whole plan depends on the strongest resale or on never hearing a Toyota fan argue with you. Check the service history and make sure routine maintenance was not skipped. Test the camera and screen response, because buggy tech gets annoying in a hurry. Look at tire wear, because uneven edges mean hidden alignment costs. Then drive it fully warm and make sure the engine and transmission feel clean, smooth, and calm. If you think this Kia is undervalued, wait until the next one, because it wears a Toyota badge and still gets overlooked for a really strange reason. If this straight talk saves you money, subscribe. We hunt cheaper SUVs, target proven years, and show the checks that stop expensive mistakes. Number 5. Toyota Venza Hybrid. This is the RAV4 hybrid in a tuxedo, and buyers keep forgetting it exists, even though the Venza may be the calmer daily driver. That alone makes it a real gold mine, because people trust the Toyota name, then somehow still shop right past this one while chasing noisier, boxier, more obvious choices. The 2021 model runs Toyota's 2.5-liter hybrid all-wheel drive setup, making about 219 horsepower, and returns 39 miles per gallon combined. Used pricing now starts around $17,500 and runs to roughly $20,000 for lower-end listings, while the original starting MSRP was about $32,470 before destination. That should make more noise than it does. In the garage, this is the SUV for the buyer who wants Toyota-level trust, but also wants a quieter cabin, a more upscale feel, and fewer fuel stops every week. Compare it directly to the RAV4 Hybrid, and the logic gets clear. The drivetrain reputation is close, but the resale heat is weaker because the Venza name never landed the same way. That softer market is your opportunity. It is better if you want hybrid savings, standard all-wheel drive, and near luxury road manners. It is not better if you need max cargo space and a boxier body. Check the windshield carefully because cracks can turn costly fast. Make sure there are no hybrid warning lights. Test the screen and camera response because weird tech gets old quickly. Then pay close attention to braking feel on the road test. It should be quiet, smooth, and natural. If this forgotten Toyota makes too much sense, good, because the next SUV is the kind of bargain people miss only because they keep shopping with the wrong priorities. Number 4. Mazda CX-5. This is the SUV buyers keep treating like a backup plan, and that mistake is exactly why the CX-5 turns into a goldmine. People walk in saying CR-V or RAV4, then use Mazda as the fallback, like it is some second choice they can settle for. That thinking is great for your wallet. We target the 2019 and 2020 non-turbo years because the naturally aspirated 2.5-liter 4-cylinder and 6-speed automatic are the simple, proven combo we want when long-term ownership matters more than badge comfort. The 2019 returns about 24 city and 30 highway, carries a 4.5 out of 5 Repair Pal reliability rating through Edmunds, and clean used examples often sit in the mid-teens, while a new 2025 CX-5 starts around $28,570. In the garage, this is the SUV for the buyer who wants something that feels tight, quiet, and more expensive than the price tag suggests. The cabin feels more solid than many obvious picks, the steering feels more awake, and the whole truck has that rare quality where it still feels good after the honeymoon wears off. Even the doors shut with a more expensive thump than most mainstream rivals in this price lane. Compare it to a CR-V or RAV4, and you are often paying less while getting a conventional automatic and a cabin that feels more upscale. It is better to drive and usually cheaper to buy, but it is not the cargo space champion. Check the headlights, look hard at tire wear, read the service history, and drive it fully warm to make sure the naturally aspirated engine feels clean, smooth, and eager. If this Mazda still feels like a backup plan to the market, good, because the next SUV gets skipped for an even dumber reason. It sits too close to another Honda and buyers stop thinking. Subscribe for Garage Truth. We compare badge hype, used pricing, and real weak spots, so you buy comfort without surprise repair bills. Number 3. Honda Passport. This is the SUV most buyers skip because they see a Pilot on the same lot, stop thinking, and walk right past a real value play. The Passport sits too close to another Honda in the showroom, so shoppers do lazy math, decide the Pilot is safer, and never notice that the used Passport is often the smarter buy for people who do not need a third row. We target 2021 and 2022 because the 2021 gives you Honda's 3.5-liter V6, a 9-speed automatic, about 21 miles per gallon combined in all-wheel drive trim, up to 5,000 pounds of towing, and a 4.5 out of 5 Repair Pal reliability rating through Edmunds. Used 2021 pricing commonly runs from the low 20s into the low 30s, while a new 2025 Passport starts around $42,400. In the garage, this is the SUV for the buyer who wants more room than a CR-V, more comfort than a rougher truck-based SUV, and less long-term drama than a lot of trendier mid-size choices. The Passport feels spacious, calm on a long drive, and strong when you need to merge or pull a trailer. It also feels more relaxed than many mid-size rivals over broken pavement and rough expansion joints. Compare it to 4Runner money, Grand Cherokee money, or even loaded CR-V money, and the used value starts looking truly strong. It is better if you want V6 smoothness, real space, and an easy road trip cabin. It is not better if you truly need 7 seats every week. Watch low-speed transmission behavior, check brake feel, test the infotainment and driver assist features, and look at tires and alignment, because bigger midsize SUV rubber gets expensive fast. If the Passport drives straight, shifts smoothly, and the systems behave, it is one of the best hidden values in this class today. Now we go to the luxury badge that scares budget buyers, even though the ownership math underneath is friendlier than people think. Number 2. Acura RDX. This is the luxury SUV that scares budget buyers because of the badge, and that fear is exactly what makes it a must-buy for the right shopper. People see Acura, assume the parts and service bills must be painful, and then drift toward a mainstream SUV or an older Lexus because that feels safer. Meanwhile, the RDX quietly still sits in the same price lane, offering more power, more upscale trim, and better used value math than a lot of buyers realize. We target the 2019 and 2020 years because this generation gives you the 2.0-liter Turbo 4, the 10-speed automatic, and a much cleaner story than the older 9-speed years. The 2020 returns about 23 miles per gallon, combined in SHAWD trim, carries a 4 out of 5 RepairPal reliability rating through Edmunds, and used pricing commonly lands from the high teens into the mid-20s, while a new 2025 RDX starts around $44,700. In the garage, this is the SUV for the buyer who wants leather, a premium cabin, and strong highway passing power, but does not want German ownership roulette. Compare it to the Lexus NX, BMW X3, and Mercedes GLC, and the emotional hook is easy. Shoppers think they are playing it safe with the Lexus, or moving up with the German badge, while the Acura often gives them better used market math, more room, and a friendlier service path than either one. The cabin also feels richer than many mainstream SUVs, wearing similar price tags on the windshield today. If you hate the touchpad infotainment, you will hate it every day. But if you are keeping it, the RDX starts making a lot of sense. It is better if you want a luxury badge with Honda-adjacent logic underneath, strong equipment, and a cabin that still feels modern. It is not better if you need a simple old-school interface, or if you are shopping only for maximum cargo room. Test the touchpad and screen first. Read the service history carefully, inspect the tires closely on SHAWD models, and do a full, warm drive to make sure the 10-speed stays smooth and free of hesitation. If it drives clean, feels tight, and the ownership story looks boring, it is one of the smartest luxury-adjacent buys on the market. And the wild part is that number 1 is even less glamorous, even less trendy, and maybe the most forgotten bargain in the whole video. Before you leave, subscribe. We break down reliable hidden SUVs, show the smart years, and give quick checks that protect your wallet today. Number 1. Buick Envision. This is the SUV nobody brags about, nobody searches for first, and almost nobody prices correctly. And that is exactly why it is the biggest goldmine in this whole video. Buyers do not trust Buick as a modern SUV brand, so they drift toward the CR-V, the RAV4, the Tiguan, or some entry luxury crossover with a hotter badge and a weaker value story. Meanwhile, the right Envision sits there looking almost too calm, too normal, too easy to miss. And that is where smart money wins. We are targeting the 2019 and 2020 Envision with the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder and 6-speed automatic, because that is the cleanest version of this pitch. It gives you the simple setup, the steady road manners, and the kind of reliable ownership story this channel cares about. The naturally aspirated 2.5 avoids extra turbo complication. The 6-speed automatic is the more straightforward choice, and the numbers still make daily life easy enough. You are looking at about 22 city and 29 highway, which is more than fair for a compact SUV that feels this quiet on the road. When new, the 2019 Envision started around $31,995, and used 2020 examples now tend to land mostly from the mid-teens to around $20,000, depending on trim, miles, and condition. That is the first reason this thing is a gold mine. The second reason is how it feels from the seat. This Buick feels more expensive than its used price suggests. You shut the door, pull onto a rough road, and the whole thing feels more silent and more settled than a lot of shoppers expect from a used Buick. In the garage, this is the SUV for the buyer who wants calm miles, low stress, and a cabin that does not feel cheap every time he gets in. It is not trying to be sporty. It is trying to make your day easier. And for a lot of people, that is the whole point of an SUV. That is also why it gets ignored. Buyers chase what is popular, not what is smart. They assume Buick equals old, soft, and boring, then pay more money for a more fashionable crossover that is not actually better at being a daily driver. I have seen this exact mistake happen on the lot. A buyer will drive something like a Tiguan or a loaded compact crossover, come back talking about how new it feels, then sit in an Envision and get quiet because the seat feels better, the cabin feels richer, and the road noise drops. That silence is the whole story. That matters for ownership. Another quiet win is the feature story. On the right trims, you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus the kind of easy daily usability that keeps an SUV from feeling dated. Because Buick does not have the resale value of Toyota or Honda, depreciation hits harder early, which means you buy the comfort after someone else paid the premium. That is the goldmine. The first owner ate the loss, and you get the soft ride, the quiet cabin, and the easy daily manners for mainstream crossover money. Compare the Envision to the same money, CR-V, RAV4, Tiguan, or even an entry luxury crossover, and the Buick often wins on ride comfort, highway quiet, and plain old value. It is better if you want a calm cabin, low stress ownership, and soft used pricing. It is not better if you want sporty handling, quick acceleration, or cargo bragging rights. Inspection time is where you keep this thing a goldmine instead of turning it into a guess. First, run the AC hard and let it sit because weak cooling ruins the whole premium angle fast. Second, test the camera, the screen, and the infotainment response, because tech glitches are not catastrophic, but they are annoying, and they give you bargaining power. Third, study the tires and the alignment story, because uneven wear turns a cheap deal into a costly one in a hurry. Fourth, drive it fully warm and make sure the engine feels clean, the idle stays smooth, and the transmission does not hunt or stumble. If the powertrain feels stable, the cabin stays quiet, and the service history looks calm, this is one of the smartest, ignored SUVs on the market. And that is the big money message of this whole video. The market keeps paying for what is popular, not what is actually smart. And that mistake is where patient buyers keep winning. Click the video on your screen. We'll show the SUVs worth buying now, the years to target, and the mistakes that turn cheap deals into expensive regrets fast today. Click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe.